It is not mere silence that drifts from the stars. There is something lingering there, cold and ever-present. Static. A hum that emanates from the cosmic deep. We strain to hear a reply, a voice in the void, but are met only with this vast, echoing emptiness. The universe, it seems, in its fathomless expanse, has offered its answer. You are alone. But are we? The Great Silence. It's a phrase that sends a shiver down your spine when you truly consider it. We gaze out at a cosmos of unimaginable scale, a universe practically overflowing with potential, and yet all that reaches us, all we perceive and hear, is emptiness. Consider the immensity. Light, the universe's ultimate speed limit, requires billions upon billions of years to traverse its observable reaches. Within that fathomless expanse exist island universes we call galaxies, hundreds of billions, perhaps trillions, scattered across the void. And within each galaxy, hundreds of billions of stars ignite and burn. Estimates suggest that in the observable universe, there are 200 billion trillion stars, each a potential sun, each a potential cradle for worlds beyond our imagining. And the very ingredients for life, as we understand it, appear to be cosmically abundant. The universe teems with the elements that compose our bodies, our Earth. Water, the lifeblood of worlds, is ubiquitous, found from comets to moons within our own solar system that cradle oceans exceeding Earth's own. Organic molecules, the seeds of biology, drift through interstellar space, awaiting fertile ground. The cosmos seems almost preordained for life. And so for decades we have listened. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, known as SETI, has been our outstretched ear to the cosmos. Giant radio telescopes ceaselessly scan the heavens, patiently waiting for a signal to betray an alien civilization. A deliberate message, a stray whisper of technology, anything to pierce the great silence. There have been tantalizing echoes. The famed WOW signal, a fleeting, unexplained radio anomaly that continues to intrigue. And ambitious modern projects like Breakthrough Listen relentlessly push the boundaries of our cosmic hearing. And yet, after decades of unwavering effort, billions invested, countless hours of meticulous analysis, still, the universe answers only with silence. Each promising flicker, each potential whisper, ultimately resolves into the same conclusion: never aliens. This is the Great Silence. This is the Fermi paradox. The stark, unsettling chasm between the universe's staggering promise of life and the deafening, persistent silence that confronts our listening ears. So, where is everyone? If the universe is so immeasurably vast, so ancient, so seemingly fertile, why are we not surrounded by the voices of other civilizations? Why, when we attune ourselves to the cosmos, do we perceive only static? Perhaps the Great Silence is not merely a silence of distance or technology, but something far more fundamental, far more final. Perhaps the universe is not teeming with civilizations because something prevents them from ever arising, or from surviving long enough to reach out across the stars. This is the chilling concept of the Great Filter. Imagine evolution, the ascent of life, as a series of hurdles, a gauntlet of challenges that any spark of life must overcome to reach the stars. The Great Filter theory proposes that somewhere along this evolutionary path, there exists at least one, perhaps several stages that are profoundly, almost impossibly difficult to pass. A stage so challenging that it acts as a filter, preventing most, if not all, potential civilizations from ever making it through. Where might this Great Filter lie? One possibility, perhaps the least unsettling, is that it is behind us, that the filter is in the past. This idea suggests that the very origin of life, or the evolution of complex life, or even the development of intelligence itself, was the truly improbable step, the hurdle that almost no planet can clear. Consider our own Earth. For a planet to foster complex life, an almost unbelievable number of factors must align. The right kind of galaxy, in a quiet galactic suburb. The right kind of star, stable and long-lived. The right distance from that star, within the narrow habitable zone where liquid water can exist. A large moon to stabilize axial tilt. Plate tectonics to recycle the crust. A magnetic field to shield against cosmic radiation. The list goes on and on. This is the essence of the rare Earth hypothesis. The idea that planets like Earth capable of supporting complex life might be vanishingly rare in the universe. Perhaps we are incredibly lucky, having passed a filter that wipes out most potential life. The rare Earth hypothesis suggests that the specific factors that made Earth habitable for complex life might be astronomically rare, a galactic lottery we may have uniquely won. If this is true, then the silence we hear may not be a temporary absence, but the sound of a truly empty cosmic neighborhood. We might be, in a very real sense, the only voice to ever rise above the static. But what if the great filter is not behind us, but still ahead? This is a far more sobering and unsettling prospect. It implies that the truly difficult challenges, the existential bottlenecks that extinguish civilizations, lie in our future. That we, and any other nascent intelligence in the cosmos, are still approaching the most treacherous part of the evolutionary climb. What could these future filters be? The possibilities are as varied as they are terrifying. Self-inflicted wounds, perhaps. Catastrophic climate change driven by unchecked technology. Resource depletion leading to societal collapse. Devastating nuclear wars born of our own tribalism. Or the unforeseen dangers of advanced artificial intelligence turning against its creators. Or perhaps external cosmic threats lie in wait. Unpredictable asteroid impacts, runaway pandemics, or dangers we cannot even yet conceive, lurking in the vastness of space and time. If the great filter is ahead, it means that the universe may be littered with the silent graveyards of civilizations that reached a certain point, only to stumble and fall before reaching the stars. It means that our own technological progress, which we celebrate as advancement, might in fact be leading us inexorably towards a precipice we cannot see, a filter that awaits us in the darkness of the future. The Great Filter. A chillingly simple yet profoundly disturbing idea. Is it behind us, making us uniquely fortunate? Or is it ahead, a gauntlet we are destined to fail? Or is the answer something else entirely? Perhaps the filter is not about survival itself, but about something even more specific. The ability to become a truly interstellar civilization, capable of breaking the great silence. But perhaps the great filter, if it exists, is not a single dramatic event, but a more subtle, more gradual complexity bottleneck. This idea suggests that while the universe might be abundant with life in its simplest forms, microbial life, single-celled organisms, the evolutionary path from simple life to complex and technological civilizations is an extraordinarily narrow and improbable one. Think of the history of life on Earth. For billions of years, life remained relatively simple. Bacteria, archaea, single-celled eukaryotes. Then, relatively late in Earth's history, came the Cambrian explosion, a burst of multicellular complexity. But even then, the path to intelligence like our own was far from guaranteed. Evolution is not a directed march towards complexity. It is a branching contingent process, full of chance and dead ends. Just think of the series of evolutionary leaps required to go from simple self-replicating molecules to beings capable of pondering the Fermi paradox. The origin of life from non-living matter, a mystery we still grapple with. The evolution of eukaryotic cells, with their complex internal machinery. The development of multicellularity, allowing for specialization and larger organisms. Sexual reproduction, accelerating genetic diversity. The emergence of nervous systems, then brains, then consciousness itself. Language, abstract thought, tool use, and finally, technology capable of reaching for the stars. Each of these stages could represent a significant evolutionary hurdle, a mini-filter along the way. And the probability of clearing all of them in the right sequence on a single planet, within a cosmic timescale, might be vanishingly small. The evolutionary path to complex technological intelligence may be so improbable that it has happened only once in our entire galaxy, or even the observable universe. But perhaps the universe is teeming with life, just not the kind that builds radio telescopes. Microbial life, simple organisms, these might be abundant. But the journey from single-celled life to complex, intelligent technological civilizations could be a staggeringly improbable climb, a complexity bottleneck that few, if any, ever navigate. Perhaps the universe is filled with life, but almost entirely devoid of us of beings capable of asking, where is everyone? Perhaps in the grand cosmic scheme, we are truly alone in our capacity for complex thought. The complexity bottleneck, a less dramatic, but perhaps equally profound explanation for the great silence. Maybe the universe isn't empty of life, but simply empty of us. But if this pessimistic view is not the whole story, if intelligent civilizations can arise with some regularity, why haven't we heard from them? But what if we are wrong? What if the great silence is not evidence of absence, but evidence of our own limitations? What if civilizations are out there, perhaps even abundant, but we are simply not equipped to detect them? Let's consider some alternative answers, explanations that suggest they are there, but hidden from our current search. Perhaps our search for extraterrestrial intelligence has been too narrow. For decades, SETI has primarily focused on listening for radio waves, electromagnetic radiation at wavelengths we understand and use for our own communication. But is radio the universal language of the cosmos? Is it the technology that truly advanced civilizations would rely upon for interstellar communication? Consider the limitations of our own technology even now. We are only beginning to explore the possibilities of quantum communication, of manipulating gravity waves, of harnessing neutrinos. What technologies might civilizations millions or billions of years more advanced than us have mastered? Technologies that make radio waves seem as primitive as smoke signals? Perhaps they are broadcasting signals all around us, signals rich with information, but signals we are simply incapable of detecting, of even recognizing as artificial. Imagine trying to hear a conversation happening underwater, using only a microphone designed to detect sound in air. You might conclude that there is no conversation, simply because your instrument is fundamentally mismatched to the medium. Are we making a similar mistake in our search for extraterrestrial intelligence? Are we listening to the cosmos with the wrong ears, searching for echoes on a channel that advanced civilizations have long since abandoned or never used at all? Perhaps the universe is filled with voices, but they are speaking a language we do not yet, and perhaps cannot yet comprehend. What if the silence doesn't mean that it is empty? What if it's deliberate? One of the most unsettling answers to the Fermi paradox is the dark forest theory. It paints a picture of the cosmos not as a friendly neighborhood, but as something far more dangerous. Imagine a dark forest at night. You are a hunter. You know there are other hunters in this forest. You can't see them, and you don't know their intentions. In this forest, any sound, any light, could reveal your location to others. And in this forest, other hunters might see you not as a friend, but as a threat or prey. The dark forest theory applies this chilling logic to the cosmos. The core idea is simple and brutal. Survival is the primary drive of any civilization. In a universe without galactic governance or universal ethics, resources are finite, and trust is impossible to verify across interstellar distances. Therefore, the safest strategy for any civilization, especially a more advanced one, might be silence and concealment. To reveal your location is to potentially invite destruction. The quiet universe might be a safe universe for those who remain hidden. If the dark forest theory is correct, the great silence is not an absence of life. It's a consequence of it. It means advanced civilizations might be out there, listening, but terrified to speak. And it raises a chilling question for humanity. Is our own search for extraterrestrial intelligence a dangerous act? Are we shouting into a dark forest, unaware of what might be listening back? Perhaps in a cosmic jungle, silence is not just golden, it's survival. We often assume that if advanced civilizations exist, they would communicate in ways we can readily detect. Radio waves, visible light signals, perhaps even massive engineering projects. But what if our assumptions are, well, a bit naive? The "we are too primitive" theory suggests that our current level of technology and understanding of the universe might simply be too rudimentary to perceive the signals or the nature of truly advanced extraterrestrial intelligence. Think about how human communication has evolved. From smoke signals to Morse code to the internet, our methods have become increasingly sophisticated. Now imagine a civilization millions or even billions of years more advanced than us. Their methods of communication and interaction with the universe might be so far beyond our current comprehension that we wouldn't even recognize them as such. They might be using forms of communication we haven't even theorized yet, perhaps involving quantum entanglement, manipulating higher dimensions, or utilizing forms of energy we don't understand. It's like ants trying to understand the internet. They might observe our devices and wires, but the complex flow of information would be completely beyond their capacity to grasp. Similarly, we might be surrounded by evidence of advanced extraterrestrial civilizations, but our cosmic senses are simply not yet developed enough to perceive it. We might be looking for signals on the wrong frequencies, or in the wrong form altogether. Perhaps advanced civilizations have moved beyond broadcasting simple signals across vast distances, finding more efficient or subtle ways to interact within the universe. This theory suggests that the Great Silence isn't because no one is out there, but because we are essentially in a cosmic kindergarten, still learning the basic rules of the universe and not yet equipped to understand the advanced conversations happening around us. As our scientific understanding and technology progress, perhaps we will eventually develop the tools and the knowledge to finally hear the whispers of the cosmos, realizing that the universe has been far more active than we ever imagined. But what if the silence is not due to our technological limitations, but to a deliberate choice on the part of other civilizations? What if they know we are here and are consciously choosing not to contact us? This leads to the intriguing and somewhat unsettling idea of the zoo hypothesis. The zoo hypothesis proposes that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations are aware of our existence, but are deliberately maintaining silence and non-interference. Imagine a vast galactic civilization network, a galactic club of mature species, who have established a set of rules or protocols for dealing with less advanced emerging civilizations like our own. One of these protocols might be strict non-contact, a galactic prime directive, if you will. Earth, in this scenario, becomes a kind of cosmic wildlife preserve, a planet left undisturbed to develop naturally, observed from a distance but never directly contacted. Why would they do this? Perhaps out of scientific curiosity, to study our development without interference. Perhaps out of ethical considerations, to avoid disrupting our natural evolution or imposing their own values upon us. Perhaps even out of caution, unsure of our intentions or our stage of development. Whatever the reason, the zoo hypothesis suggests that the silence we hear is not the silence of an empty universe, but the deliberate silence of observers, patiently watching, waiting, or perhaps simply judging us from afar. Are we, unknowingly, living in a cosmic zoo? Another alternative explanation focuses not on hiding civilizations, but on the sheer brute force difficulty of interstellar travel and communication. Even if civilizations are relatively common, the vast distances of space itself might be an insurmountable barrier to contact. The distances between stars are almost incomprehensible. Even our nearest stellar neighbors are light years away, trillions of miles. Traveling at speeds even a fraction of the speed of light, interstellar journeys would take decades, centuries, or even millennia. The energy requirements for such voyages are staggering, far beyond our current capabilities, and perhaps beyond the sustainable capabilities of any civilization. Communication, even at the speed of light, is subject to the same vast delays, messages taking years, decades, or centuries to travel between stars. Perhaps interstellar travel is simply too difficult, too expensive, too time-consuming for most civilizations to undertake on a large scale. Perhaps civilizations tend to remain clustered around their home stars, exploring their local stellar neighborhood, but rarely, if ever, venturing out into the truly vast gulfs of intergalactic space. Perhaps the universe is not silent because it is empty, or because civilizations are hiding, but simply because it is too far apart. The distances themselves act as a kind of filter, isolating civilizations from one another, confining them to their own stellar islands in the cosmic ocean. Finally, let's consider a more temporal explanation for the Great Silence. The possibility that civilizations, even if they arise with some regularity, are simply short-lived. That technological civilizations are inherently unstable, prone to self-destruction, or simply have a limited window of viability on cosmic timescales. Think of the challenges facing any technological civilization. The potential for internal conflict, for resource depletion, for environmental degradation, for the misuse of powerful technologies. Our own history is filled with examples of civilizations that have risen and fallen, often due to internal strife or unsustainable practices. And now, in our own time, we face existential risks of our own making: climate change, nuclear proliferation, the unknown dangers of advanced AI. Perhaps these are not just challenges for humanity, but inherent self-destructive tendencies of any technological civilization, ticking time bombs built into the very nature of complex societies. Perhaps civilizations are like fleeting candles in the cosmic dark, burning brightly for a brief moment in cosmic history, radiating outwards for a brief time, and then extinguishing themselves, leaving behind only silence. On cosmic timescales, even a civilization lasting for thousands or tens of thousands of years might be incredibly brief, a mere blip in the vastness of time. If civilizations are indeed short-lived, then the universe might be filled with the ghosts of civilizations past, societies that arose, flourished, and then vanished, leaving behind no lasting signal, no enduring voice to be heard across the eons. Technological limitations, intentional silence, the vastness of space, the fleeting nature of civilizations. These are just some of the alternative answers to the Fermi paradox, explanations that suggest they might be out there, but hidden from our current detection. But even considering these possibilities, the Great Silence remains. And the question still echoes: where is everyone? And so, we arrive at the heart of the Fermi paradox. We have journeyed through the staggering scale of the universe, the daunting possibilities of the Great Filter, the chilling implications of cosmic loneliness, and the tantalizing hints of hidden voices just beyond our grasp. We have explored pessimistic answers, suggesting we are fundamentally alone or facing insurmountable obstacles. We have considered alternative hypotheses, imagining civilizations out there, obscured by technology, distance, or deliberate choice. But through it all, the Great Silence endures. The universe remains quiet. No clear signal has pierced the cosmic static. No undeniable message has arrived from the stars. And in that silence, the Fermi paradox echoes with a profound and unsettling power. It is more than just a scientific puzzle. It is a mirror reflecting back at us our own hopes, fears, and deepest questions about our place in the cosmos. The Great Silence challenges our assumptions. It compels us to confront the possibility that our understanding of the universe, of life, of intelligence, may be fundamentally incomplete. It forces us to ask, what if our current search strategies are inadequate? What if our expectations of extraterrestrial civilizations are too narrow, too anthropocentric? What if the universe is simply stranger, more complex, and more silent than we ever imagined? And yet, even in the face of this profound silence, there is a spark of hope, a flicker of possibility that endures. The Fermi paradox is not a definitive answer, but an ongoing question. It is an invitation to continue searching, to refine our methods, to broaden our perspectives, and to remain open to the vast unknown. Perhaps the silence will one day be broken. Perhaps a signal awaits us, just beyond the threshold of our current detection. Perhaps the universe is not truly silent at all, but simply waiting for us to listen in the right way. The universe remains silent for now. But the question echoes, where is everyone? And what does their absence mean for us? It may be that the silence is temporary, a puzzle we have yet to solve. But the Fermi paradox also compels us to confront a far more profound and unsettling possibility, that the silence is not just an absence of voices, but an absence of anyone else at all. That in this vast and ancient cosmos, we are truly and utterly unique and perhaps alone. And if that is the truth, then the responsibility for the future of consciousness, for the preservation of life and meaning in the universe, rests solely and heavily upon us. So, what do you think? What is your answer to the Fermi paradox? What does the great silence mean to you? As we continue to listen to the cosmos, to search for answers in the static, let us also remember the profound and perhaps singular responsibility that may fall upon us in a universe that, for now, remains hauntingly, beautifully, silently ours to explore.